Hey there, hey, and welcome to the Tuesday pod of Born Star, Born Star, Born Star. Where you recognize you're a star, because you are a star wherever you are. It's Tuesday, it's cold here. Oh my God. Fuzzy socks sounds really nice. Unfortunately, I can't wear fuzzy socks to work. I don't really think they're gonna allow that. That's not part of like the dress attire or whatever. It's not happening. But I can imagine what it's going to feel like when I get out. So that's definitely what I'm putting on my feet when I leave. Fuzzy socks and warm, comfortable leggings and a nice fuzzy warm shirt or something before I get ready to get on my Peloton and do a couple of rides and stay healthy with some tone it up and all that good stuff. Anyways, it's Tuesday, and it's another opportunity for us to recognize our star power. It's another opportunity for us to recognize that we can do anything we set our minds to. And it's another opportunity for us to recognize that this is our time. The time is always now for you. Why keep pushing things off and saying you're going to get to it at some point? When's the some point? When is that? When are you going to get to yourself? You should get to yourself first and focus on what you need to fix so you can enjoy your life. Anyways, next part of our conversation, let's venture into our favorite part of our conversation. Outside of talking about our star power and looking in the mirror and looking at who we are and who we're becoming, let's venture into no media allowed, no media allowed, no media allowed, because they lie to us anyway. So here in America, the fact that I have to continuously hear about how Biden is sending letters to Ukraine or to Russia is just hilarious. There's going to be a war. When it's going to start, I can't tell you that, but it's going to happen. And China is likely going to take over Taiwan too. All the bad guys are coming out to play, and Biden's not a bad guy. He's a pathetic, elderly, like comatose, like he's forgetting his memory type dude. Why they wanted to elect him into office, I don't understand that. His wife's really pathetic. I can't stand her either. I'm not saying Ivanka was any prize, because she wasn't. She admitted she hated Christmas, and I don't know if Biden's wife has admitted that yet. But honestly, like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, you're not going to stop Putin from doing anything he wants to do. Like, and bringing people to the border, making him feel some type of way, is likely not making that easier. He's going to do it. He's likely going to do it. And you know what? Maybe the United States shouldn't get involved. Maybe the United States has to stop acting like the mall cop, trying to fix everything with the world mall. Like, why are we doing that? Getting involved in situations that don't have anything to do with us is not that smart, bro. Like, we spent 20 years in Afghanistan, and I continuously talk about that. They're trying to bring over more Afghanistan people to the United States of America. These shitty journalists and these crappy people keep trying to keep it up for grabs that we need to help out the people that helped us out in Afghanistan. Maybe 20 years in Afghanistan was a bad idea. Maybe that wasn't smart. The only people it was smart for were the people that were getting paid, which was none of the people in the United States. Do you think they paid off the citizens in the country of the United States being there? Because they didn't. It's a total nightmare. Bro, a total nightmare. So now you want to go to Russia and do what? Utilize what power? You don't have any power to go anywhere and do anything and tell anybody anything. And I love how the United States always wants to mind everybody else's business. The traffic for people is coming into the United States. It's not going out. There's far more people trying to claim asylum and get all these special handouts from the United States. And the government in the United States is dumb enough to give it to them. If I want to go to any country outside of the United States, there's a process in which I have to follow to become a citizen there. And it's an extensive process. Does the United States have that process for immigration? No, because they're morons, okay? Your tax money is not going to things that should be helping you out in your community. It's going to stupid shit like housing these people that are taking up space in the United States from people that were already on waiting lists. They're taking over things that they're not supposed to be getting. How's this working? Why are we giving rewards for something that didn't work? Like, so now we're going to go to Russia and do what? How's this going to work? I mean, typically you look at the past as sort of a window into the future. And if we're looking into the past, what does that tell us about what's going to happen here? It's probably not going to be good. Like, the United States is a problem. They just mind everybody else's business. They're nosy neighbors, and they need to shut the hell up and be quiet. You've got enough issues here in the United States trying to pass a Build Back Never bill that makes no legislative sense. You're so souped up by a minority of people that you claim need help, that are in poverty, that you don't realize that the middle class is not middle anymore. You've created such an imbalance in the country that you're a part of that now you want to go mind everyone else's business. Is that what you're really doing? Like, we're not stupid. We can see what you're doing. You love to go find problems somewhere else to try to go fix those problems, but you don't want to fix the problems that actually exist here. Like the fact that Biden gave millions of dollars to a car company that hasn't created the cars yet, trying to implement electric cars for 2030. Bro, it's not happening. And that was $6 billion. And that was last week. Like, what? This is just such an embarrassment. Like, I'm sad to say that man is a part of this country, or any of these morons that are politicians are a part of anything. They're not that bright. How they got elected into office, I still don't understand that. I'm questioning all of these things because these people I'm telling you about are not good at this. Like, they're not. Like, they're really not. This is really bad. The things we're talking about, and things aren't getting better. But the sad part is the fact that this party thinks they're going to be able to remove things away from another country, and that's going to stop what's going to happen. Just like they thought they were going to be able to hold off the Taliban in Afghanistan. How'd that work? Remember that? How did that work? Because I watched it from my couch, and I laughed at it. So when this fails, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, the week after that, it could be failing right now, and I don't know yet because I haven't looked at my phone to see. Guess who you can blame? Yourself. For going around the world, getting all these social platforms involved, Facebook, Twitter, all these crappy things, hyping up something that's not going to happen. Stop trying to act like the United States of America is the savior to anything. The United States of America is the problem, and it's been the problem since the beginning of time. Stop minding everyone else's business. You've created problems in Haiti. You've created problems in every other country around the world, including Africa and other countries. So I'm assuming that the governments of other nations around the world and other countries don't care about anything that USA has to say about anything. And they especially don't care about anything with, I don't have a back Biden, okay? Backless Biden. I'm going to call him BB. Backless Biden. Or mindless Biden. MIB. MLB. Mindless Biden. Because when he's talking, he still thinks his mom's in the audience. And that's not funny that he still thinks his dead mom is in the audience. Obviously, he needs mental help. Like, he's obviously having memory loss. Which is kind of a problem if he's the president, right? How are you going to handle anything important if you think your dead mom's alive and you're talking to her in an audience where she isn't? How's that work? Right? And you're going to tell Putin anything? They all know you're a joke, bro. They know you're a joke. You can say whatever you want about Trump. But I bet you none of them were acting like this when he was in charge. The moment things go Democratic, they go bad. And I'm not siding with the Republicans. I disagree with a lot of what they're doing. I don't think a lot of what they do is working. But I 1,000,000% don't agree with the Democrats. Like, they're just like in an embryonic stage where they're trying to recreate the United States of America. What are they going to get rid of the Constitution of the United States and create another constitution where bummery can just be bummery? And then are they going to try to control the entire world? Because that's what the United States is trying to do. Fail. Anyways, moving on to the next part of our conversation, outside of the fact that the government in the United States of America is an embarrassment, let's move on to taking time to embrace yourself and how essential that is to your everyday. You need to take time for you, whether it's reading a book, getting on a Peloton, running outside, drinking some tea, watching some show, binge watching something, having a good time, watching something on Netflix, I don't know, FaceTiming someone. I like to say talking to your friend, but I guess it's not a thing anymore. So, I mean, something that makes you happy, find a way to do it every day. Time is moving so fast all the time, and it feels like it's impossible for us to get a moment of space, or it's impossible for us to have time for ourselves with busy schedules, with full-time jobs, with other responsibilities, with making dinner, with bringing our dogs out, with making lunch for the next day, with everything that happens every day on a daily basis for a busy adult. You can lose sight of you. And what I'm basically saying is take 5-10 minutes for yourself. Go in your book lounge in your other room and find a book and start looking at it. Maybe get on Pinterest on your phone. Find a way to like things that make you happy and don't feel bad about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like the fact that people feel guilty when they spend time with themselves. Why are you feeling guilty about spending time with yourself? That shouldn't raise guilt in your consciousness that you can't have you time. You don't always have to be fixing something, worried about somebody else. You don't always have to be thinking about something negative happening. Why can't you just enjoy your time now? That's what I'm saying. Next part of our conversation, let them go. Who's them? Negative people. People that aren't helping you succeed. People that aren't helping you on your journey where you are now. Let them go. You can't hold on to people. That person you thought was your best friend, maybe they're not your best friend. The person that you love, that you thought was going to love you forever, maybe they don't love you forever. The family member that you thought would always have your back that left you in the dead, let them go. You don't get along with your cousins, who cares? You don't get along with your aunts, move on. And don't let that take up your day or your time or your space or your emotions. People have a way of creeping up and stealing time. Don't let them. Just let them go. Let all the bad situations go. Let the memories go. Let it go. It's okay to let things go. I tell you all the time, I thought I was going to be best friends with my best friends forever. And we're not. Am I mad about that? No. Did I let it go? Yes. Do I talk about it? Yes. I don't want to say it's traumatizing, but it's fully, it woke me up. It made me fully aware of people's intentions. And because of that, I'm less likely to trust people's intent with me. Like, at this point in my life, my husband's my best friend, okay? Like, I don't want one. I'm good. I have friends that I talk to or communicate, people that I socialize with on social media or I hang out with or whatever, but I don't want a best friend. Like, I'm at a point in my life where I don't want that, or I don't need it, especially after what happened the last time. I'm good. Pass. You see how I can easily have that conversation and not get emotional, like, I can't believe this and that and this and that and this happened, and give you all this explanation of things. Like, it's unnecessary for me to do that. Like, it doesn't require me giving an explanation of that. That's just one example. There's a lot of people I'm not friends with anymore because there's no reason for us to be friends. Like, were we friends because we work together? Well, now we don't work together. We don't live near each other. There's no reason for us to hang out. I feel like people only call me when they're bored or they don't have anyone else to talk to. And sure, that's a great reason to call me and talk to me and be my friend. But like, if you're really gonna be my friend, it's gotta be more than that. Like, so for me, like I just said, I'm good. Let it go. Whether it's a family member, a friend, a person you love, or a coworker. Like, you had a disagreement with someone at work and they piss you off. Let it go. Let it all go, and just move on. Next part of the conversation, listening to Billie Elish. Listening to Billie Elish is fun. There's something about her voice, something about what she does musically with beats and chorus and jumping around and just all over. And I just love her. I really do. Been listening to her for a couple of years now, and I feel like she's just gotten better. Like, No Time to Die was an amazing opening song for that movie. She did such an amazing job with that song. Just, oh my God, like, incredible. She's just such an amazing artist, and I truly do love listening to her. And if you haven't checked her out, you need to. Next part of the conversation, feeling misunderstood. I felt misunderstood for a lot of reasons, a lot of times. And when you're feeling misunderstood, it can be challenging to try to have conversations with people or feel like you can explain when you don't feel comfortable because you don't feel like people are going to understand what you're saying. I feel like that all the time, especially with Skip or family members. Like, I'm getting aggravated about things that they're not looking at. So they don't understand what I'm saying. And I'm feeling misunderstood because, again, they're not looking at what I'm saying for what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Like, they don't get it. So if the person you're talking to doesn't get what you're saying, how do you get them to understand what you're saying? I guess sometimes you have to have a breakdown of what you're dealing with, or you just have to show them what you're talking about. The reason why I get so caught up with politics, and I talk about that at the beginning of this podcast, is because that involves everything I'm talking about. I work at a job. I pay taxes. I'm a citizen in the United States of America, right? The reason why I constantly talk about stuff like that all the time, and I have all these opinions about these elderly ass politicians or whatever, is because there is not an awakening in the United States of America. No one actually knows what's going on, and no one actually cares. Like, people that are smart are fully aware of what's going on. But other people, like mediocre people that don't really, like, that are not, like, there, they don't get it. Like, that's where the misunderstanding can creep from. Like, people that are just like, oh, it doesn't matter. The news is always negative. Oh, it doesn't matter. Politicians are going to do whatever. But we can stop them. We can run against them. We can utilize our smarts to defeat them. Maybe it won't happen today or tomorrow, but why can't we keep trying to get rid of them? Why can't we push Nancy Pelosi so far she just ends up quitting, okay? Like, I talked about her yesterday, but, like, why can't we push Biden so far he just ends up shutting up and going back in the basement because he doesn't have anything to actually say? Like, I don't care that he stood his ground and he cussed out a Republican journalist with Fox News. I don't really care that he did that. The guy probably talking to him probably is dumb. There's not a lot of smart people working on that news station, as you could tell. But I don't care that Biden did that. He should probably do more of that all the time, and that should probably just be a norm for him. But he probably won't do it. Misunderstandings can happen in any situation. It doesn't have to happen just with politics. It can happen with employment. It can happen with emotions. It can happen with feelings. It can happen with anything. If you don't feel like you're being misunderstood, it creates this uncomfortable feeling, and it creates this disconnection. We got to get past all that and find the good. That's what I say. So if you're feeling misunderstood, let's find a way for all that to be figured out. Next part of our conversation, does every movie need to be a show? Like, aren't you tired of them trying to make shows from movies? Like Die Hard, that show failed. They tried to do a Terminator show. I don't think it had a season. I don't even, when did that come out? I think I Googled it or something because I was trying to see if there was a show somewhere, and it did not do good. There's been a lot of movies that they try to make into shows, and it's just like, what is going on? Like, there's so much you can do with a movie that you can't do with a show. And where's the show being debuted on? Because is it being debuted on one of these platforms, or is it on regular cable TV? Because if it's on regular cable TV, it's going to have to be created for a PG-14 audience. Okay. And it's probably not going to be that good. And I'm not saying that Netflix is always the go-to or HBO Max. But if you're going to do something right, then do it right. If you're going to replicate a movie and turn it into a show, then maybe have the same characters to try to get people that are really close. Maybe try to age them. Or if they were older in the movie, maybe try to have it be their younger version in the show. Well, there's so much they could do. And it doesn't feel like they do any of it. It really doesn't. As you already know, I'm a movie buff. I don't just look at movies. I watch them and I criticize it. It's like a class at school, right? I analyze the movie, I watch it, and I decide if it really had an effect on me. That's how I look at movies. Some movies are good, better than others. Some movies are bad, not that great. Every situation is different. I'm not saying that it's not possible to have a movie become a show, because it is. Like, they took some of I Know What You Did Last Summer and made it a show on Amazon by it. And I gotta tell you, that show was kind of good. Again, that was on Amazon. It wasn't on TV. That's probably why it was better. I'm specifically talking about shows that they try to have air on TV. And I named a couple of them. They didn't last long. Let's give it time and see if we can come back to the conversation to see if I'm right or wrong. I do believe in this situation I'm 100% right. I'm just going to say it. I really do think I'm right. Next part of our conversation, Pretty Little Liars. Oh my God. I watched that show. It was really good. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still there. I might have to look back and see. Where did Buffy go? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't remember where I watched that on, but it was on one of these platforms. Was it Hulu? Could have been. I don't remember. But where did Buffy go? Like, I looked for it the other day and I couldn't find anything. Like, nothing popped up. There's nostalgia with good storylines from before. There's nostalgia with good storylines from before. Like, actual horror movies. Like, there's nostalgia with watching bad Freddy Krueger movies with the horrible acting and the really crap, lines that they're saying. There's nostalgia because it's funny, right? And it's older. You can play drinking games with it. It's fun, right? The theme of the story is fun. Like, you could even say there's nostalgia with, like, Matrix, especially if you've watched them one after another. Or you could find nostalgia with, like, Mission Impossible or James Bond, because there's been so many different James Bonds over the decades of decades. You could find nostalgia with Batman if you like DC, or if you like Marvel and you like some of the characters from Marvel. Like, there's definitely nostalgia in different genres of movies or different variations of what can happen with it, and I definitely think it's something that you can love. So why not try it? That's all I'm saying. Pardon me while I eat my salad while I'm podcasting. Next part of our conversation. Some are a one and done. Some things are just going to come out for a season and you're never going to see it again. Or some movies aren't going to get a number two. And you know what? I'm fine with that. If that's the case, then let that just be the case. Because sometimes number twos lose the whole context of what you were trying to get with the original one. So one and dones are sometimes necessary. Next part of the conversation. Big star, big star, big star. We recognize you're a star. Because you're a star, wherever you are. Adding mint to water gives it this very distinct taste, and it's very good. You could also add lemons or lime or grapefruit or really any fruit that's got like a citrusy flavor. You can put that at the bottom of your water bottle. I do recommend an infuser. I have a drop bottle infuser, which is really good. But the thing I don't like about it is it doesn't keep the drink cold. So like it's something where you have to like drink it right away for it to stay cold. Granted, it's winter right now, so I'm likely going to find that and get infusing with it. I do recommend that you get a glass infuser though. That's why I said drop bottle. But there's other infusers, not just drop bottle. But I do recommend drop bottle because they have all these really cool recipes. And they're really cute. So if you want one that's not like huge, drop bottle is definitely the way to go. You can just go to dropbottle.com. You can find it on Instagram and have at it. I definitely recommend Drop Bottle. They're not paying me to recommend it. I'm just saying it's cool because I got it and I love it. I got it about a year ago and it really is fun to infuse things with it. It's just so light. You can bring it with you anywhere or just drink it around the house. It's just something that you just pick up, shove some lemon, lime, some mint, whatever you want in there. And it really has a distinct way of capturing all the flavors together. And it is really beautiful and it is really delicious as well. So go find that. Next part of our conversation. Eating breakfast is essential. Eating breakfast is essential because then you're not going to be like hungry. You're not going to be wanting things. You're not going to be like fiending for things and then potentially make a bad decision for lunch. Especially if you like, I don't know, have a protein shake or a bagel or something in the morning for breakfast. Then I think that's going to guide the rest of your day and how you're going to eat. So breakfast is definitely important. People that say they want to skip breakfast, I mean, I understand skipping it. Sometimes you don't have time. There's times in the morning where I don't have time to eat breakfast, especially if I'm heading to work and I run out of time. So that's understandable. But I really do think I'm going to go out of my way to make sure I can have breakfast. Next part of our conversation. The truth about Herbalife is it works. It's just a Ponzi scheme. It's just a scheme to convince people that they need to be in a group and they need to get all these people to buy it so the person that started it can get all the money. That's what it is. Was it very successful? Not really, because they got caught doing it. Does that mean I don't like Herbalife? No, I like Herbalife. I mean, it worked for me. Does that mean it's going to work for everybody? No, that doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. It's not everybody is going to want to do what you have to do for Herbalife to work. It's very intense. But it's very effective as well. It did train my brain to know right from wrong and good from bad. So I do advise maybe looking into it because it's still a company. But it still raises a question of what kind of company is it? But I'm going to stay on the side of Herbalife because I am a Herbalife. I can sell it. I'm a coach. I can do a lot of things with Herbalife. And it really did make a difference in my life. And it really did, provide me with such a deep knowledge of health and just a deep understanding of things in a way that I don't know if I would have got from anything else. So there's that. Next part of our conversation, owning your own body. Own your body. If your boobs are bigger, own those big boobs and wear like D-cup bras, bro. If your butt is big, love your big butt. If you've got big thighs, you're thick. Okay, love it. I'm not saying you can't lose weight or tone up, but love your body, whatever state it's in. If you've got chunky monkey and you've got flabby nabby and you've got lazy Susan, like, and you've got the arms that are all loosey goosey, whatever the situation is, you gotta love yourself, especially when you're focusing on toning up and losing weight and getting regimented and finding where you are in that stage. It's something where it might not be easy to recognize you can't achieve your goals, but you gotta love yourself while you're doing it. Because if you can't love yourself while you're making these steps, it's gonna be really difficult to look in the mirror, to get on the scale, to put on your workout clothes, to go running in the cold, to drink water, to make your own food, to start living differently. It's gonna be really difficult to step into that. So before you start any of it, love who you are now. Because then when you get to your goal, you'll love yourself even more. That's what I'm saying. When you love yourself while you're trying to change yourself, you're loving yourself the entire way through. Each step you take to get to the new, more improved version of who you are. Because you're not changing yourself. You're just updating yourself for health. So you can live longer and stronger. That's what this is. We want to live longer and stronger. We want to chase youth. We want to chase our best versions of who we are. We want to be able to run around, chase our kids, our grandkids. We want to be those cool aunties and uncles. We want to be those people. So why not be those people? That's what I'm saying. Next part of the conversation, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. So if you want to just eat McDonald's every day and French fries all day, every day, you're going to end up looking like that. And you're going to end up having a heart attack, and you're likely going to end up getting diabetes or something. So I'm not the person that's going to tell you every day I'm eating lobster. I'm not a person that's going to tell you every day I'm eating filet mignon. But I am a person that's going to tell you I do try to fluctuate what I'm eating so that I don't end up becoming something I dislike. And while I do eat McDonald's and I do eat a lot of different variety of things, because I've talked about McDonald's and the deals they have, sometimes you're busy and you just need something fast and that fits into it. That doesn't mean you can't eat something healthy that's on that menu. It doesn't just have to be a Big Mac or a sandwich. You could get a salad. You get whatever the wrap that they have there. The wrap that they have is pretty good. So there's other things you can get from that place that aren't just bad. So look for the healthy options if you're trying to eat food like that. That's what I'm saying. Because you are what you eat. For real. You are. Anyways, guess what? That's the end of the podcast. Whew. It went by real fast today. Thank you as always for tuning in to this Tuesday version of Born Star, Born Star, Born Star. Where you recognize you're a star. Because you are a star wherever you are. Don't forget that. Look in that mirror and love who you are. I love who you are. I hope you love who you are too. It's always a pleasure talking to you, keeping the positivity and making you see the star that you actually are. You have unbelievable star power. Recognize it and use it. Together, we can light up the world. And when we light up the world, we can change the world. And when we change the world, it's just going to be a better place to live in. There you go. See you tomorrow. Bye.